Good morning to all of you. Today's lecture is on thalamus. Up till now, we have seen what is ascending tracts, descending tracts, how the information is carried from peripheral receptor to central nervous system via ascending tracts. Then, after the processing, how the motor information from the motor cortex is carried via descending tracts. That is, different descending tracts like pyramidal tracts, extrapyramidal tracts toward the effector organ via descending tracts. So this is all about sensory tracts and ascending tracts. That is a sensory ascending tracts and descending tract is motor tracts. Now, what are the different components of the brain? Like for example, thalamus, basal ganglia, cerebellum, reticular activating system, and what are the roles of that all these nuclei present in the brain? So first, let us start with the thalamus. After that, we are going to see basal ganglia, cerebellum, reticular activating system, vestibular apparatus. Okay. So in today's lecture, we are going to see what are the classification of the thalamic nuclei, connections of thalamus, functions of thalamus, and applied part. So as you know that during the embryological development, different parts of the endodome, that is different parts, ectoderm, mesoderm, endodome, how they form different components of the brain like prosencephalon, mesencephalon, rhombencephalon, and out of that, the diencephalon, which is formed by the prosencephalon, is formed, or that diencephalon form different components, that is epithalamus, thalamus, hypothalamus, and infundibulum. Okay, so thalamus is a component of diencephalon. So you can see that this is a telencephalon part, which form different components of the cerebral hemisphere. This is a diencephalon, which form thalamus, hypothalamus, and epithalamus. This is a mesencephalon, which form the midbrain. This is a myelencephalon, which forms cerebellum. This is a metencephalon. Okay, so these are the, again, this is a MRI pictures. You can see that different components of the brain. This white thing is nothing but your internal capsule. Okay, and below that you are having that component that is called as thalamus, which is nothing but which form the lateral part of the, or lateral wall of the third ventricle. This is the third ventricle, and it forms lateral wall of the third ventricle. There are two nuclei of thalamus, that is right side, left side. So these two nuclei of thalamus, or these two components of the thalamus, are connected at midline via pars, or also called as intermedica. So two thalami are connected to each other via intermedica. Okay. Again, different MRI view. You can see that this is a thalamus, showing by arrow. Two thalamus are connected with each other. So word thalamus is coming from Greek word, meaning is that meeting place, or also called as inner chamber. That means all the sensory information and motor information are carried via this thalamic nuclei. Okay, except the olfactory pathway. Other than olfactory pathway, all the sensory information is carried through the thalamus, and all the motor information is carried via thalamus, and that's why it is called as meeting place or inner chamber. So two thalami are oval, paired nuclear mass, around dimensions 30 by 20 by 20. It is the largest components of diencephalon. You know what are the components of diencephalon? Hypothalamus, epithalamus, metathalamus, and thalamus. So out of that, 80% components is by thalamus. It forms the lateral wall of the third ventricle, and it's separated from the hypothalamus by hypothalamic sulcus. It is connected to the opposite thalamus by interthalamic adhesion, also called as pars intermedia. So you can see that this is a pars intermedia, how they are connected to each other. And this is a thalamus, form the lateral wall of the third ventricle. Sorry, lateral wall of the third ventricle. Yes, this is lateral ventricle. This is the third ventricle. So two large lobes of the gray matter, as you know that it is formed the lateral wall of the third ventricle. It is a gateway to cerebral cortex except olfactory pathway, and main function is processing or editing of that particular information occurs in thalamus. Now, what are the different nuclei present in the thalamus that you are going to see? So the nuclei, which is also called as a neuroanatomical classification of the nuclei. This is one thalamus, and this one is opposite thalamus, which are connected by one connection that is called as vas intermedia, and this is called as interlamina. This is interlamina, and that interlamina separate out a different group of nuclei: the anterior nuclei, medial nuclei, lateral nuclei, and the medial group of nuclei. So what is anterior nuclei? These are nothing but the which are present at the just in front of or within the bifurcation of interlamina. That is called as anterior group of nuclei. These are different lateral group of nuclei starting from the ventroanterior, then ventrolateral, ventroposterior, then pullunar group of nuclei, middle geniculate body nucleus, and lateral geniculate body nucleus. While midline nuclei, there are 3 midline nuclei are present on the middle side. So these are the neuroanatomical classification of the nuclei. While depending on developmental classification, how there are different types of thalamic nuclei. They are called as epithalamus, dorsal thalamus, and ventral thalamus. They are found that epithalamus is mainly involved in olfactory system, while dorsal thalamus is mainly involved in transferring the sensory and the motor information. So again, you can see that on the anterior group of nuclei, which is present within the bifurcation of the intermedullary lamella, and these are the different anterior lateral group of nuclei of thalamus: anterior, lateral, and medial. In anterior, we have ventroanterior, ventrolateral. You know, if you remember the descending tracts, how the descending tracts passing through the ventroanterior and ventrolateral nucleus of thalamus, then ventrolateral and ventroposterolateral nucleus of thalamus, VPL, ventroposteromedial nucleus of thalamus. These are mainly concerned with the sensory system. All the sensory tracts carried through this part of the thalamus part. Then pullunar group of nuclei, which having lateral geniculate body and the medial geniculate body. Lateral geniculate body mainly for the visual pathway, and the medial geniculate body is mainly for the auditory pathway. While in the midline, we are having intralaminar group of nuclei, the midline group of nuclei, and dorsomedial group of nuclei. These are the components of the midline group of nuclei. Again, same. So what are the neuroanatomical classification? Just we have seen that is lateral. We have 3 components. The internal medullary lamina separate out the thalamus components into 3 nuclei. That is called the lateral group of nuclei, medial group of nuclei, and anterior group of nuclei. In the lateral group of nuclei, we are having ventral group and dorsal group. In that ventral group, we are having again ventroanterior, ventrolateral, ventroposterior, middle geniculate body, and lateral geniculate body. In dorsal group, we are having pullunar, lateral posterior, and lateral dorsal. So you can have this neuroanatomical classification. This is anterior, this is a medial, and this is a lateral. The lateral group, ventroanterior, ventrolateral, then we are having ventroposterior, medial, ventroposterior, lateral, and middle geniculate body and lateral geniculate body. Then also we are in dorsal part, pullunar group of nuclei, and lateral posterior and lateral dorsal. So these 3 components form the dorsal group of the lateral group, and this is a ventral group of lateral group of nuclei. Okay, so this whole thing is nothing but the lateral group of nuclei, starting from the ventroanterior group of nuclei up to the middle geniculate body. So this whole thing is called as lateral group of nuclei. So it have both components, sensory component also and motor components, like VA and VL nuclei is for the motor components, while ventroposterior, VPL, that is ventroposterior lateral, ventroposterior medial, then middle geniculate body, lateral geniculate body. This is for special sense, that is visual and auditory pathway, and this is for somatic sensation. Okay. So again, same diagram, VA, VL, VP, VPL. These are the components of the lateral group. This is a lateral group of nuclei. This is the anterior. This is a middle group of nuclei. Again, with different diagram, you can see that how 2 thalami are connected to each other in the midline. Anterior, anterior, lateral, lateral. Then this is a midline, medial. So middle group of nuclei include centromedial nuclei, dorsomedial nuclei, and the midline nuclei. While anterior group of nuclei, which is nothing but the which is present between the intermedullary medullary lamella. Again, same diagram. Now, you may have a question on this. Enumerate the nuclei of the thalamus. So you should write neuroanatomical classification, that is anterior, medial, and lateral. In that anterior, medial, lateral, what are the different group of thalami present and with the diagram. Now, what are the connections present in between the nuclei of the thalamus and other part of the brain? So that is called as connections of the brain, thalamus. In every thalamic nuclei, send axon to specific part of the cerebral cortex. That means thalamus via the thalamocortex pathway. While every part of the cerebral cortex send back signal to the reciprocal fiber back to the thalamic nuclei. That is called as thalamic-cortico-thalamic tract. Okay, and information received by thalamus is always shared with the cerebral cortex, and that the cortex and thalamus can modify each other's activity. So these are the two most important things about the connections of the thalamus. Because of connection of thalamic-cortico-thalamic tract, what are the different connections present between the different nuclei and the different part of the brain? The first column is of name of the nuclei, thalamic nuclei, then afferent, efferent, and functions. So starting from the midline, what are the group of nuclei present in the middle group of thalamus? That is nothing but the midline, intralaminar, and the dorsomedial or centromedial. In midline group of nuclei, we are having afferent is from spinothalamic tracts. That means the tracts which are arising from the spinal cord, spinothalamic tract. Reticular group of nuclei, reticular formation, hypothalamus, and other thalamic nuclei. That is the afferent for the midline. Efferent goes to the neocortex, basal ganglia, and hypothalamus. And what are the function? It is integrating the crude visceral and somatic sensation. This is the function of the midline group of nuclei. Intralaminar afferent is again from the reticular activation system, then basal ganglia and other thalamic nuclei. Efferent is toward the prefrontal cortex, and main function is alerting effect on the reticular activating system, and again integrate the visceral and somatic impulse before going to cortex. Then dorsomedial group of nuclei, the afferent is from hypothalamic nuclei and the prefrontal cortex. Efferent is again goes to the prefrontal cortex and is helpful. It is helpful for association center for synthesis of crude somatic sensation. So mainly the midline group of nuclei is mainly for the crude type of sensation or somatic sensation. While anterior group of nuclei, this is mainly afferent is from the mammillary body via the mammulo-hypothalamic tract. Again, this is most important components of Papez circuit, and which is helpful for memory and recent memory and the emotions. Okay, and efferent it goes to the cingulate gyrus of cerebral cortex. So anterior group of thalami, mammillary body, and the cerebral cortex, and from the cerebral cortex back to the thalami. This circuit is called as Papez circuit, and it is concerned with the recent memory and the emotion. You may in the Viva they will ask, examiner will ask what is the Papez circuit. So you should know connection between the thalami, mammillary body, and the cerebral cortex cingulate gyrus. That is called a Papez circuit, and it is helpful for recent memory and the emotions. Now, lateral group of nuclei of thalamus, it includes starting from the ventroanterial to the pulvinar group of nuclei. In ventroanterial, that is a VA nucleus, and ventrolateral group of nuclei, we are having afferent is from, first we will see posteroventral, that is VP nuclei, spinothalamic tract. Efferent is toward the sensory cortex, and that is parietal cortex, area number 312. And what is the main function? It relays the somatosensory information from the trunky region. Then dorsolateral, the afferent is from the parietal lobe and other thalamic nuclei. Efferent toward the cerebral cortex, and is helpful for language and complex integrated functions. Pulvinar group of nuclei is afferent is from the other thalamic nuclei and the cerebral cortex. Efferent is toward the cerebral cortex, and main is function is integrate the visual, auditory, and somatic information. LGB, that is lateral geniculate body, afferent is from the optic tract of the retina, both the retina. Then efferent toward the occipital cortex, visual cortex, and function is vision. Middle geniculate body, the information is carried from via cochlear group of cochlear nuclei present in the inner ear and inferior colliculi. Then efferent is toward the auditory cortex, and function is hearing. Lateral ventral group of nuclei. Afferent is from the cerebellum and globus pallidus, part of basal ganglia. Efferent is toward the cerebral cortex, and function is voluntary motor functions. So once you remember this chart of nuclei, afferent, efferent, and functions, it is very easy to write what are the functions of the thalamus. If you have a question on the functions of thalamus, at that point, you should remember what are the group of nuclei and what are the connections of group of nuclei of thalamus to the other part of the brain and the thalami, so that you can have easy for to write that answer for the functions of thalamus. So by diagrammatical, you can see that these are the connections of midline group of nuclei. The midline connections, afferent is from the various hypothalamus reticular formation, and efferent is toward the cerebral, mainly the cerebral cortex. Again, intralaminar group of nuclei, connection is from the spinothalamic tracts, reticular formation, substantia nigra, globus pallidus, and efferent is again goes toward the cerebral cortex, prefrontal cortex. Again, connections of anterior group of nucleus, you know that it is from the main components of the Papez circuit, that is the mammillary body connections, which is important for the memory and emotions. Again, lateral group of nuclei, it mainly VPL and VPL, that is ventroposterolateral and ventroposteromedial, which is nothing, which receives the signal from the middle lemniscus, that is a dorsal column pathway. Okay. Connections of middle dorsal nucleus, the main connection is from amygdala and globus pallidus, magnocellular pathway and paracellular part, and again efferent is toward the cerebral cortex. So you can see that from the dorsomedial group of nuclei, efferent goes to the prefrontal cortex. So this is about all connections of the thalamus. In the one diagram, you can see all the connections. So you can see that from the cerebellum, you can have connections with the thalamus. Then from the somatic sensation, mainly toward the ventroposteromedial and lateral group of nuclei. Then from putamen, that is part of the basal ganglia, you can also have connections. Then vision via lateral geniculate body, hearing from the middle geniculate body. Other sensation also, visceral impulses from reticular information toward the thalamus. Okay, so these are the different connections of the thalamus, and main input output goes toward the cerebral cortex. So what are the functions of thalamus? You may have a short answer question on this. What are the functions of thalamus? As you know that it forms the relay connection between the cerebral cortex, that is subcortical areas. And then what are the functions? It carries the sensory information toward the thalamus, toward the cortex, except the olfactory system. Example is input from the retina also, input from the visual cortex also, input from the auditory pathway also, that is middle geniculate body. And VPL, that is ventropostural nucleus, it mainly relays the somatic sensory, that is fine touch, sensation. This information is carried toward the that stereognosis, vibration sensation via the ventropostural nucleus of thalamus. That is processing of sensory information plays important. Now this is plays because of connection with the reticular activating system. It plays important role for sleep and wakefulness cycle. Then thalamus have, that is two-way connection, that is thalamocortico and thalamic circuit. That is, this circuit is mainly involved for consciousness of the person. Again, the level of awareness, arousal, because of connection with the reticular activating system, it play important role. And some damage to the thalamus can have that patient can lead to the in coma. Role of thalamus in the anterior pallidal and the nigral, that is the components of the basal ganglia. And because of connection with the basal ganglia, you know what the functions of basal ganglia is mainly the maintenance of muscle tone. And that's why along with the thalamus, because of connection with the basal ganglia, they play important role during the maintenance of the muscle tone. Thalamus is also connected with the hippocampus, which form the mainly part of the Papez circuit, that is for the memory. Then it is also in some lower animals, it's mainly involved in autonomic reflex movement. Different conditional reflex because of connection with the amygdala and hippocampus. Anterior nucleus is again part of the limbic system, emotion, feeling and sexual behavior. This is a function of the entire group of nuclei. Play important role because of connection with the reticular activity system. Again, is play important role in the genesis of the different EEG waves, alpha, beta waves. So this is about the functions of the thalamus. What is the applied part? What happens if there is a damage to the particular group of thalamic nuclei? The main cause is injury to the thalamocortical connections is maybe because of damage to that particular artery supplying that particular thalamic nuclei. Injury to the thalamic nuclei because of road traffic accident, occlusion of artery, just I have told you. Then what are the functions? Now, depending on which group of nuclei, whether it is ventrolateral, ventroposterolateral, middle group of nuclei, or anterior group of nuclei is involved. Depending on that, maybe functions, sensory loss of function, motor loss of functions, memory loss of functions. Okay. So when the sensory group of function, sensory loss is there, when there is a damage to the ventroposterolateral and ventroposterior middle group of nuclei is there, that at that time there is a loss of touch sensation, proprioceptive sensation. That is all type of sensation are lost of opposite side of body. You know that ascending tract crossing takes place in the lower part of medulla. Okay, so after the crossing the medulla, they will enter into the thalamus, and that's why in the right side of thalamus, there is the fibers, the information is which information is present, the opposite half, that is the left side information is present. So if there is a damage to the right half of thalamus, that means there is a contralateral side of sensation is lost. Second is thalamic pain syndrome. It is also called as central post-stroke or pain, or also called as Russ's syndrome because of name of the scientist. It involves there's a loss of interlaminar, that is, there is a no connection between the thalamus and interlaminar nuclei of thalamus to the cortex. There is a loss of connection between the interlaminar nucleus of thalamus and cortex, and because of injury to that, even the slight touch to that particular patient feel very severe pain. That is called as thalamic pain syndrome. When the patient eyes asked, when we ask the patient to close the eyes, person is very difficult to find the body parts, and that is called as thalamic phantom limb. So this is thalamic syndrome, also known as Dejerine-Rossi disease, because of name of these two scientists. Caused because of damage to the particular interlaminar group of nuclear thalamus. It may be because of damage to that particular artery or damage to that particular group of nuclei. Clinical hallmark is sensory loss of contralateral lesion, paresthesia, and mainly the thalamic pain. This is the most important symptom, thalamic pain. Other applied, emotional injury to the anterior group of nuclei. You know, the anterior group of nuclei is connected with the hippocampus, and that's why also the cingulate gyrus, and that part is important for the emotional. Then about motor, you know, the ventroanterior and ventrolateral nuclei of thalamus is mainly important for motor symptoms, motor information carried toward the descending effector organ, and this, because of damage to this VA and VL nuclei, there may be motor weakness and hypotonia, that is decreased tone. Patient may have symptoms of chorea, that is involuntary movements, automatic, that is chorea, dancing movements, athetosis, and intention tremor, involuntary movements. Sensory ataxia, person is unable to walk along a straight line with closed eyes because of, again, there is a connection between the thalamus and cerebellum, and because of loss of that particular connection, person may have sensory ataxia. Thalamic hand, it is one of the symptom of thalamic pain syndrome. There is a flexion of wrist and hyperextension of fingers, that is called as thalamic hand. They may ask in Viva, what is thalamic hand? So all symptoms occurs on opposite side. Why? Because of crossing, for example, ascending tract crossing take place in the medulla, and that's why symptoms of opposite side of body is lost. So this is about the function applied part of thalamus. So you may have questions on, write down the functions of thalamus. Enumerate the thalamic nuclei. We have to enumerate the anterior and middle lateral group of thalamic nuclei and thalamic pain syndrome. Okay. So in the next lecture, we are going to see another part of the brain, that is the basal ganglia, which is most important for the maintenance of the muscle tone posture. So just read out the thalamus, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.